Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thought I'd hop on out here and give you guys a little update because you guys have been requesting it, and I've been away filming. I'll wait for people to get on. Let me open the comment stage here and see what's going on. Hey, New Zealand lady, how are you? I'm surprised. I have a lot of people from New Zealand. Got a lot of patients, customers, and fans from out there. Hi, Joyce. How are you? From Washington State. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Cece from Arizona. Chrissy from Missouri. How are you guys doing today? It's a lovely day here in Nevada. Story time. Greetings from Jamaica. I used to work in Jamaica at the hospital there. I love Jamaica. Laura, how are you from Australia? What's up, user YBTB, blah, 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 blah. Scott Lewis, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Good to see everyone coming in and getting the recent update here. Let's see what else is going on here. We've got so many channels open. Well, I always have to start off with the disclaimer, this content is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding any medical conditions. Nothing here has been approved by the FDA or anything. It's just for experimental purposes only and lab use. So with that note, hey, Nancy, how you doing? Miss Melissa, welcome, welcome from Nashville. Love you guys too. Happy winter solstice. Woo! Winter solstice. Whoa, look at that. Oh my gosh. Yep. EmerySmith.co. We have a couple pieces left if you want. Check them out. I know you guys are into the crystals and all that stuff. We still have a couple selenite Merkabahs. Look at the size of that. I have a size 9 hand. This is, like 5 inches, 6 inches. Look at that thing. Got to have selenite and selenite Merkabah, hand carved, of course. Yeah, we do have some of these. I know you guys have been requesting this as well. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hey, Kim, how are you? We still have some Andaras left. That's right. From the gypsum sand when the lightning hit it. Look at that thing. Look how big this one is. We have a few of those left too. You get them on emerysmith.co if you're interested. Some of the stuff that you guys need to combat all these crazy attacks you guys are going under. And yeah, lots of fun things. Woohoo! Yeah, JP was on. Yep, on Redacted, right? He did a great job. I love those guys out there. They're cool. Yeah, JP, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna have him on the show again. Yeah, you want one? Okay, well, we can arrange that, Kim. Because you kind of know some people in our lineup. There it is, Cosmic Crystals. Thanks, Cameron. We got Commander Salamander in the background working on all the cool things. Let's throw a code up there. Let's do something special for people that want to order these crystals, Cameron. Let's do let me see. Yeah, let's do like a 30% off or something. 30% off the crystals. I'm just waiting for people to get on. Ha 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 ha. Sovereign Cosmic Wild Man. Why do you refer to your dogs as dragons? Well, that's classified. Is the word dog short for dragon? Well, we are dragon lineage, and we're all into dragons over here in the Smith Castle, and definitely I have an affinity for dragons and fairies and medieval things like that. And we do have a little joke going around about how, I developed these dogs in the lab, and I'll just leave it at that. Um, we're trying to get dogs to grow wings. We're trying to get humans to grow limbs back, and it's working. It's working. That's a whole nother show. But you guys get to ask all the questions this time. This is a show free for all of you out there that have been requesting. Yeah, Daniel, are you coming back to Cosmic Disclosure? Oh my gosh, I was just there for a whole week, 7 days, and we had a great time. I filmed, I'm not even allowed to talk about it. Dolly Saffron. Oh my gosh, Dolly Saffron. What a cosmic sister. Her experiences happened within 100 miles of my experiences in Florida. She was in the Everglades. I was in Fort Myers, Florida, in a farm. And for those of you who watched my earlier episodes on Cosmic Disclosure with David Wilcott, there was a bunch of times I was mentioning the farm and in Florida, and she was right down the road and having unbelievable experiences. I can't get into what we're talking about, but she is definitely a contactee hybrid. Amazing information. She was a pilot. She was trained by the Greys to be a pilot. So you guys are going to be blown away by these episodes. I want to have her on so bad, the webinars, but I made a promise to Gaia TV and Sid Goldberg, my amazing producer, that I will not do that because it's so much, you'll have just a more of an awakening experience seeing her for the first time on Cosmic Disclosure. Look her up, Dolly Saffron. What a wonderful woman. We had just the most amazing time. She's a twin too, and it's just really cool. A lot of synchronicities between her and myself, and her and my wife Darla. It was really beautiful, really connected, and it was just a great week filming in Boulder, Colorado, with Gaia TV. We also did Dr. Alana Morrow. Oh my gosh, we're talking this person, like myself, a scientist. She's a neuroscientist and has developed amazing technologies. We're working together with her actually, and she had a amazing experience, growing up, also a contactee. And like I say during the projects and with all my amazing patents that I've had, they were, not just me, I'm not that smart, but I had a lot of help from above. These extraterrestrials do work with us on subliminal levels and physical levels to allow us scientists to help humanity, and they really want to help, and that's what I'm here for, is to relay those messages and also to work with hybrid ETs and extraterrestrials that are living here now. So for those of you that are hybrids and are looking, trying to find out what's going on, and I help with you to help transition. It's one of the things I do is help hybrids transition into planet Earth. You guys probably don't know that, but you can write in to cosmicmarket3@gmail.com, and we help you, you hybrids, get through that and give you the necessary tools to move forward in working with humans, because it can be difficult, And yeah, and extraterrestrials too that are here, that are trying to transition with humans and get into certain projects. Not everyone is, as far as hybrids and extraterrestrials, can just move right into society. It's difficult and you need help. And we have a great team for transitioning hybrids and transitioning extraterrestrials. Just write in on cosmicmarket3@gmail.com, drop me an email, and we'll talk. We'll talk. Okay, who else is here? Daniel, the dark horse. Yeah, I bet you resonate. Nancy, how you doing? Yeah, a lot of you guys have memories, and you'll start remembering a lot more in 2026. Good alignments happening. A lot more downloads are happening. A lot of star energies coming from multiple dimensions and universes, and the extraterrestrials are having a really big presence in 2026. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of that come forward, which I'm really excited for all of you. And as you see, we have been slowly leaking disclosure in a safe and effective way for humanity. He-Man, ahoy! I love that. Iron Mighty. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman, yes. He said, I've heard before that there might be some type of connection between dragons and Sasquatch. I haven't heard anyone yet break this down. Well, the Sasquatch and those entities are extraterrestrial earthbound creatures. They're interdimensional creatures, so they can come and go as they please. That's why it's really hard to get them on any type of photograph. All the photographs are all pretty much fake that are out there. If they want to be seen, you'll get to see them. You probably won't get them on camera, though. They're very intelligent and have amazing powers. And dragons and the Sasquatch, do live in inner Earth. Dragons have been spotted around the planet. That's they get out every now and then, and people do photograph these, and they're taking off the web pretty quickly. And we have found lots of dragon fossilized dragons that are kept in really secret places, including the Vatican underground facilities and other places, because they don't want you to know the history of the Earth, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, all that stuff does exist. The giants and the dragons, all that stuff that you guys have dreams about and see on TV and in the movies. Hey, Scott Lewis. Yeah, I love Devil's Tower. There's a lot going on there. Hopefully, they're going to start sharing that more and more often. Is Sasquatch from Mars? Not that I'm aware of. There could be Sasquatch on Mars, though. Nancy has seen dragons. Yes. Yes, Daniel. I've been in the Vatican Library. Yes. I actually did an episode. I don't know. I think that was with David Wilcock. In the early episodes of Gaia TV, I did a whole series on the Vatican. It was an amazing experience, something I'll never forget in my life, and really opened my eyes up to what a fake world we live in. And knowing what we know is we, meaning myself and the team. It's really difficult. Watching it slowly unfold. We all want it now, but it's not in our timeline. It's in the timeline of God and how things just unfold in the safe way for the universe. And even though we want it right now, sometimes it's not the safest time for things to be disclosed, such as anti-gravitics and over unity and med beds and things like that. But they are coming out. The med beds are moving along very well. And I'm hoping next year to start promoting that for a couple of my scientific friends and clinics. Of course, we're still working on ours and still in the early stages for our self-sustainable Emery Smith spaceship healing experience, clinic, community, and academy. It's all in the makings, and thanks for your prayers and support, because it is a very dangerous endeavor. And at the same time, we do have a lot of support from the governments and from other institutions that we do this in a very safe and effective way. Let's see here. What do we got here? Okay. So let's see what else I can share with you. Let me go back. Sorry, I'm jumping around because Cameron's got many different networks. So I'm really just blessed to be here today to give these updates. Thank you, Dark Horse. I appreciate you. I'm doing well. Doing great. We've had a rough couple of years, and it all just fell into place, and great foundation that we have now. And it's been quite an exciting journey, like all of you have been on, and it's part of the learning experience. So yeah, everything is fine. The dragons are good. Darla's great, and our cat Sienna is doing well, reaching her elderly years. We have special technologies that we use. Speaking of technologies, I have to, of course, always do the plug before I get into stuff. I showed you the crystals. You know, some of the new crystals we're getting are, look at these pink agate pyramids. Look at that. They're not on the website though. You have to write in, and those are not. I can't give discounts on those. But if you're interested in these amazing, look at this. You can't make this up. They're super cool. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God. If you like those pink agate pyramids, right into Cosmic Market 3, and I'll send you over a quote on those. They're beautiful, great for all the energy stuff that you guys are doing at home and protecting the home and getting energy from the other ether that you guys need to access more of. I notice a lot of people are having challenges, and that is, you know, that's normal. Everyone has to go through challenges to escalate into the next level of consciousness. And these tools definitely help you get there. Nancy, yeah, well, they're active. They're there. Extraterrestrials are always there. The dimensional planes, there's always someone watching and listening. Not in a scary way. It's just we can only see in this dimension because we've been suppressed. But I notice more and more people are getting to have, especially by taking some of the solutions and supplements that we provide, such as the Nano Blue. Look at that. Nano Blue is an amazing solution we developed. And it's really not about the blue color, which is a very small nanoparticleized methylene blue. It's about the nano zinc. It's 0.2 nanometers. So it's a very small particle of zinc and silver and gold and all the colloidals and stuff. And it runs through, 30 different crystal energies and light energies and high electromagnetic forces that we use to create the 4-state plasma water, which forms covalent bonds. You can read up on it on emerysmith.co. And people have been commenting on my beautiful hair, and that's because of my amazing hair growth formula and skin regenerate formula. That's also on emerysmith.co. We also have the serum, anti-aging serum. This serum is also part of the Nano Blue collection that we have. Women love it because you can put it on and it does pull water from the atmosphere into the skin all day long, and you can wear makeup over it. It's very simple. Yeah, these solutions are very incredible, way ahead of their time, and they also can. The ingredients are said to help fight infections and diseases and things like that, but I won't make any claims on this. This is just some of the ingredients have been said to do that. Of course, I can't say anything like that. One of our most amazing solutions that we have, of course, is the Nano Emerald Green. And that's Nano Emerald Green. That's Nano Emerald Green under a black light with calentrazines. And calentrazines come from the jellyfish deep down in Marianas Trench. And what that does is help protect the DNA. So it's such a small molecule, and that also has the nano zinc and everything else that the Nano Blue has. It just doesn't have methylene blue. And it actually goes right through the cellular membrane the cell wall into the plasma, supercharges all the organelles in there, like the mitochondria, the Golgi bodies, goes into the nucleus, nucleolus, into the DNA and RNA, and protects it from EMF. There's a lot of, we do have a lot of people out there who have done their own studies. Of course, I have everything independently tested. It's not 100% blockage or anything like that, but it's enough to help the cells from, degrading from all the free radicals and radiation, and most importantly, the EMF, 5G, 6G. It's already up to 12G in the projects, Wi-Fi, and things like that. We've noticed, with a lot of our patients that we do our scans and check out the scans. I know Cameron's going to put that up there. When we do our scans, these scans are very intensive. And we just needed a fingernail or a hair follicle and a picture, and we can run and find out everything in your body because we're reading the photons coming off the DNA. You are light, and that's how we do that. That's the same way the James Webb Telescope takes a picture of a planet far away, and we know what's on the planet, if there's, platinum, iridium, water. We know what's on there because we're measuring those hydrogen carbons off of those pictures. And we've done the same thing, but we did it for the body. So we can measure just from a picture and from a fingernail sample, all these things in your body. We're talking millions and millions of different frequencies because every bacteria, virus, parasite gives off different frequencies. And it's a very extensive, for those of you on here, if you want to comment, that have had these scans, please make your own comments. We can see a lot of different things, and it helps give a baseline of where your health's at and what's going on and what to prepare for. These scans are very extensive, 3,000 pages report. We call you up after we do the scan. You don't have to be present for it, so we do the scan long distance. And we, we'll be on the phone with you for like 3 hours going over your scans, and also, putting you in the right direction for medical assistance if you need that. Okay, let's go down here. Julian Oliveira. Emery, do you think the 20 on back are real? I don't have any experience with that in the projects. Unfortunately, I never heard of it, so I can't really comment on it. Not saying it's not true because I don't have experience with it. I have a lot of colleagues out there that have, been through these projects, claim to be through these projects. But like I said, I really don't have experience with it. And I've never heard about it actually when I was in there, which is surprising for me. I thought I know a lot, but there's a lot of things I don't know. And that's the truth about it. I just, if I knew, I would tell you, but I don't. That's right, Kim. There's protection everywhere. Daniel says Royal Rife stuff looks like it's coming out. Yeah, a lot of our technology is based off of Royal Rife and Helen de Clark. We have been building frequencies in our device, millions of frequencies that we purchase. Actually, we work together with many other countries that are, because we find out that, especially with the huge influx of immigrants into the United States, we had a lot of mutations, not just with COVID, but with other different types of bacteria, viruses, funguses, and mold that cause cancers and all these other horrible diseases. It's really, really interesting to see how they mutate so quickly, and that gives off a different frequency, which we all share on the inside. Not everyone can have these devices because they can also be a little dangerous if you're not using them to heal and to help people. Find out what, it's not just a scan, these are treatments. So the scan is actually a treatment as well. And there's a lot that comes out without me divulging too much information. It basically is part of mostly all the new med beds that are coming out will have this technology in it. So it's a type of scanning and correcting, the cells and the energy of the cells, because it's all voltage and frequency. Everything's all frequency. Okay, Miss Melissa says, how to tell if a moving light in the sky that responds to your mental questions is a ship or an entity or some sort? That's a great question because yes, it is. All of those. I love it when people do see craft because the craft are the beings and the beings are the craft, and some craft are the actual being. So, like my famous light being, that the picture I took when I was in with CSETI, I was vice president and chief financial officer for CSETI for quite a while with Greer and this team. And we had a great experience on Book Grand Island with the light being. And so the light being was there. I took a picture of it, asked for permission, of course, first. And so these beings, light, they, especially interdimensional beings, they are whatever. They can take the form of a dog, a cat, a crystal, myself, and even a ship or a rock on the ground. So what you're communicating with, whether it's all those, it's an entity, it's a ship, it's a being, it's all those. Yes, I love numbers. One of the questions is, what does the numbers 444, 111, 777 mean to you? I mean, these are, all numbers in the universe that coincide with different algorithms and ratios. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm nodding my head, Dark Horse. Yeah, that was a crazy, amazing experience. Inner Earth was an amazing experience. Being on the projects after, the military were even more exciting because to work with civilians and contractors, working with military and seeing everyone work together on a mission to try to extract the largest amount of mana recorded in on Earth in history is about 4.5 acres of this in New Mexico, and there was a lot of people after this mana, this powdered uh, white powdery substance, this gold, and because it's anti-gravitic and it heals you and does many many things, and they had to build those suits, and they still didn't perfect it back then, and that project unfortunately is just sitting there. Remember the monolith craze? Was that one monolith spotted in Vegas genuinely installed by ETs, or was it some art project fake? Yeah, that was an art project that was fake. There's also in New Mexico and a couple Indian reservations that we work at, and they are around the globe. So that was not an extraterrestrial object. There's a lot of that going around, unfortunately. There's a lot of fake things going around as far as extraterrestrial objects. I'll leave it at that. The Dark Horse says, I wonder if the Galactic Federation has some affiliation with the divine organization called TLS. The rabbit hole is endless. Yeah, that's a total scam. The TLS is a scam, and that's already been proven over and over. The people behind that were actually the people talking about it. So yeah, that's unfortunately a big hoax, and I think that's going down that is going down. They're going down a bad rabbit hole. If you listen to Tony Rodriguez about 20 and back, you believe it. Oh no, I mean, all I'm saying, I love Tony and Randy and all the people that do the 20 and back. I think it's pretty amazing. They say things that, one of the most amazing things that we all have in common is when they start talking about the technology. It's like, oh yeah, I know that technology. There's no way they would know that technology unless they were in on those projects in some form or fashion. And so I'm not saying I don't believe it by far. Kim Ashton says, how do you pick which solutions you're going to take every day? Well, because, I have unlimited supply, it's different here at our laboratory. And, really it's just 30 mLs a day, 1 ounce. These bottles last 33 days. If you already are healthy, you just need like 5 mLs, 10 mLs a day. So that'll last you 3 months. It just depends on what you're, looking forward and what you're trying to accomplish. One of the most coolest things about these solutions is the decalcification of the pineal gland. So, we do have before and after pictures of that. And there's lots of more studies that are going on with these solutions, showing the decalcification of the pineal gland over time, over a year's use, which is important. You guys need your pineal gland to make your own decisions and not use your brain as much as your heart and pineal gland to witness and see things too. It's another sensory thing that another amazing sensory thing that you were engineered with that you should be utilizing more often, but it has been suppressed because of the diet that has been given to us. Of course, fluoride in the water and calcium and deposits in the water. It's all kind of counterintuitive, counterproductive for trying to get conscious and also getting into the great dream states and out of body experiences. So a lot of people do notice this while taking these solutions with the Aquapharian Nano Blue and the Nano Emerald Green. We do have a new one, which is really cool. It has both. So it's a little bit different color. So it's got the blue and it's got the Nano Emerald Green. And it's called Oceanic, but we added sphingolipids to this. Sphingolipids that we made recombinantly from the bowfin whale, which the studies are showing, it rebuilds retina nerves. So it's great for for people that are trying to rebuild their nerves, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, spinal cord injury patients, or anyone who's just trying to preserve the nerves and, things like that. The ingredients, like I said, have been shown to do that. I'm not making any claims whatsoever on my solutions. I'm just telling you that these ingredients are well known, well documented, and have many white papers that you guys can research as well. The dark horse. Did you also say you're a strong believer in Ormus? Yeah, Ormus, amazing. Of course, all my products have Ormus. Ormus is super important because you don't really get those types of elements. You're born with them, but unless you're drinking billions of gallons of salt water from the oceans, you don't really get those, and you really do need those. You need all those elements that are in Ormus. Orbitally rearranged monatomic elements are all in all my solutions. And if you want just like pure Ormus, the only one that I recommend, since Blue Water Alchemy is gone, is a new alchemy, ANU Alchemy. It's some of the most amazing Ormus. My good friend, Dr. Ron Holman, Siddha Ron Holman, my brother in arms, has developed it. He's the most amazing alchemist on the planet, and I utilize all his stuff and products. I mean, it's really really hard to. You can go to emerysmith.co and see that it's really hard to make Ormus. And I've tested hundreds of Ormuses out there, and they're not what they say. And it's unfortunate that people don't really know the process to make Ormus. There's some companies that have recently reached out to me that want to send me samples and test them, and I will. I mean, if you want me to test your Ormuses, I will. I love Ormus. I think it's a very integral part of any conscious diet that you need to have these types of elements in your body, and it activates different things and really works with the piezoelectric voltage in the pineal gland. And that's why when you take these solutions and you take the Ormus from a new alchemy, that these things are activated, different parts of your body activate, which help with meditation, help with astral projection, and help with healing, and longevity, most importantly. Michael Jackson. Hey, Michael, how you doing? When are you going to be on Redacted? I don't know. I know JP was talking to them. It was funny. JP was filming Redacted 45 minutes from when I was filming Cosmic last week. It was really hilarious. We were on the phone talking kind of in between the sets. And he's like, "Hey, I'm over here. I'm just like right down the road." I was like, "Oh my gosh, come on over." Of course, we have really stringent times when we're filming, and so did he. And I think it was just really coincidental that it was happening. And I know he passed my name on to them, and looking forward to the future of speaking with them. Emery, are you familiar with the Spooky 2 Central? Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with all nonlinear systems. I have my own, of course, that we use in house. But yeah, I like pretty much all the systems are pretty good stuff. Ours is a little bit more advanced than that, a lot more advanced to say. We're working on different levels of quantum physics and the quantum field of energy when we read people, and it's it's very advanced. So I definitely, excuse me, anyone that really wants to get a baseline for their health, the best thing you can do is sign up for one of our scan treatments online. Randy Kramer's personal experience are they are jaw dropping. Randy is amazing information and stories. Yes. Daniel says, so I used earbuds for those frequencies, meditation, solfeggio, binaural beats. Do these things work? Yeah, they definitely work. I think it's great. Be careful where you're getting your binaural beats from. Unfortunately, most things online, you got to be careful. You can't listen to something from YouTube. You're not getting the real binaural beats, and you might be getting something else. AI does infect pretty much anything you listen to online, whether it's YouTube videos at night or Netflix during the day. Anything going through Wi-Fi is manipulated frequency-wise. That's why you have to take solutions like this to block those out and to protect your brain and your etheric field. We scan chakras as well with all this stuff and energy fields. It scans deep. We scan not just to the DNA. We go to the RNA. We go to chromosomes. We go really deep. We know everything about your body. We know everywhere you've ever traveled and everyone you've been with. So it's really cool, and it's super classified. Since we do a lot of political figures and Department of Defense individuals, we're not hooked up to any internet. We have the highest security systems. Nothing is sent over the internet. It's all done through phone and other means to get you that information. When we do have the conversation to go over your report, we narrow down those 3,000 pages to maybe 20, 25 pages, just depending, we kind of triage, all the different ailments in the body and see, what we have to really look at, what's most important for that patient, basically, and instruct you. Okay, what is mana? Mana is, let's say, when you strip gold of everything and you just have that particle left. It's like a powdered gold. So it's not like the metal gold that you're used to seeing that you wear in your jewelry and stuff. This is the purest essence on a very quantum level. If you look in Egypt, you see all these goblets with these little cones on them. That was mana, and that's what was in the pyramids. It's a very prized possession in the Bible. When Moses was handing out the biscuits, it had mana in them, and their energy field of everyone walking to the river and splitting the water was because of the high energy of everyone consuming the mana. I usually don't talk about that or get into religious stuff, but there's, I just know about it from the projects, of course, and being exposed to it, and it's a very highly wanted, you know, um, mineral, and this gold is does many amazing things. So you're going to hear more about that in the future, and yeah. Let's see. What do I know about White Sands, New Mexico? White Sands. How do you think this was made? Yeah. I remember being out at White Sands when I was visiting Holloman Air Force Base, when I was stationed at Kirtland Air Force Base. For those of you who don't know, that's where I was stationed at, working at Los Alamos Labs and Sandia Labs on Kirtland Air Force Base and the vicinity, and all the other bases in New Mexico. And White Sands, number one, it's super magical. I love White Sands. It's so beautiful there. There's definitely underground facilities there and extraterrestrial facilities. I do talk about this on Gaia TV on the number one show, Cosmic Disclosure. Still number one show, decade in the running. Thank you for all of you. If you guys are interested in seeing my shows, please go to emerysmith.co. We'll throw the ambassador link up here. Cameron will throw it up there. You guys can check it out and get caught up. It's fairly inexpensive, and please sign up under my ambassador program, show your support. But yeah, I go into White Sands a lot because I have a lot of experience there, and it has a history of extraterrestrial contact, as you know. Thanks, Michelle DePaul. Welcome. You talked about the Vatican in Cosmic Disclosure Season 2, Episode 1. Whoa. Michelle is like, knows Cosmic better than I do. It's a good episode. I love talking about it. And it's funny because I went back many, many times after that. And it's not the same when you have complete access, I'll just say. I don't have a calcium solution. Nancy Volker said, we are starved with so many minerals. Yep, that's correct. Michelle DePaul says, my husband loves Nano Blue. He hasn't been sick for almost 2 years since he's been on it. I'm taking the Oceanic now and notice I don't need to take naps as much. Yeah, and that's because of the energetic field. Extraterrestrials, a lot of extraterrestrials, they don't eat. I find it awkward eating. I wish we could do away with food and water. In the future, it will be like that. We can tell to transport all the necessary nutrients into our bodies and into our cells. And the cool thing about Oceanic is it's based off of the volcanic vents down in the oceans. Here we are, the bottom of the Marianas Trench, and you have these volcanic vents. And you have all this life down there, all this plankton, all these tube worms and crabs, and all. This is just bountiful amounts of life. And there's no sunlight. And sometimes there's no oxygen because of the sulfur content and all the different poisonous gases that are down there, but yet there's life everywhere. And that's called, in scientific terms, chemogenesis. And chemogenesis is life through chemicals and minerals. And so a lot of extraterrestrials, their bodies work this way. They don't need, the sun. They don't need certain things that they get through the nutrition because of the minerals that they have access to or around, and a lot of these also have to do with crystal energies of the volcanic vents that are down there. And so when I made Oceanic, and all these solutions are based off of the ocean, and I have this big affinity for the ocean. I got really deep in with the ocean, not just through the projects, but as you guys know, I used to film for Discovery Channel and National Geographic underwater photography, got into that, and really just, admiring all the different types of species. We discover a new species in the ocean pretty much every day. And it's fascinating to see their biology and how they work. So I've taken a lot of those things, such as the octopus too, which also has sphingolipids in it, and this is containing all that, these minerals and these sphingolipid frequencies, because these creatures have been here a lot longer than we have. The jellyfish, and how are they doing it? How are they doing? So we know how they do it, and that's why I developed these solutions for longevity and also to protect us. Jabby G, so on the TLS group, real quick, and I've always felt a little off by them. Well, go with your intuition. I think that's a great way for anything. When anything you're listening to anyone, whether it be on Cosmic Disclosure or even listening to me, you got to really use your inner self to decipher and with discernment, look into that person, look into and do your own research too. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth anyone, but it's just, I know too much about everyone and everything that's out there being in this field for 30 years. So I would, I would not do anything with that technology. Michael Jackson said, I figured he was talking about connecting Clayton with, yeah, it was me. That was cute. JP was saying, hey, I know this guy, who does extraterrestrial autopsies and works in with the med beds and stuff. So yeah, he was doing that, and he's being super respectful. JP, he's on our team, and he's, it's great that he was, just being careful what to say, what not to say. That's funny you picked that up, Michael J. Nancy said, yeah, Jason Rice has good SSP interviews. Yes, he does. Yeah. Silver Bullet D, do you still have contact with ET beings? Yes, daily. So Michelle DePaul asked, will you create frequencies for us to buy? I don't trust YouTube. So yeah, we're working with, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say their name. We're working with some really amazing people that are doing that. So they're making their own frequencies. And I will forward you that information. There are frequencies that are like scalar energies. So you have a bad frequency coming in that you could put another frequency out, but there's only maybe one or two, music producers that really understand that. One of them is being, I don't know if I'm allowed to say their name, but all I'm going to say is there are a couple of ways that they have put that inside their music. So if you are listening to it online, you won't be affected by it. And it does work. Doug Ivanovich from World Peace One, an amazing brother of mine who started working on this concept about 30 years ago and was trying to put this type of technology into just music itself. And there's a woman out there by the name of Anastasia, who does have a YouTube channel, and maybe I'll get someone to post that on here. And she's been, really doing amazing work. We've hooked up with them with some other stuff, and I know Darla's been playing it in the house and for the dogs. And that does come through some channel. I don't know if it was Spotify or YouTube. And it cancels out. But I don't know of any other scientific, music producer doing that, but them. I think Cameron might know what that YouTube account is. I highly recommend it. I'll try to get it to you before we get off this. And on another note, when you said, will you create real frequencies? I was actually thinking we make frequency tinctures. So when we do your scan, let's say we found Lyme disease, let's say we found Aspergillus fumigatus in your lungs. We make tinctures based off of your DNA. We holographically imprint this purified 4-state plasma water with those antidotes, those frequencies, and send them to you, which is part of your scan. And you might get 20 to 40 of these little eyedropper bottles that you have to take morning and night for 14 days to cancel out, those harmful pathogens and helminths, we call them. There's always some whack job on here. Well, thank you, Miss Melissa. I really appreciate that. Yeah, singing bowls are great. The frequencies are amazing. I'm a big singing bowl person, so I collect a lot. But just make sure they're real poured quartz crystals or real quartz. Do you recommend the EE system? Yeah, I do recommend the EE system. Dr. Sandra Michaels, amazing person. She had invented the EE system. Yep. Well, with no further ado, I will definitely look into these things that you guys are requesting here. And thank you. If you got to get a hold of me, cosmicmarket3@gmail.com. Make sure you sign up and subscribe. We also have the Cosmic Disclosure Alliance page on Facebook and some other things that I probably forgot to tell you guys about. That's why I'm going to have Commander Salamander, Cameron Clapp, who runs the scenes behind the Cosmic Television Network on YouTube channel. Are you around, sir?
Commander Salamander in the house. What's up, everybody out there? Social media platforms, streaming across all the social networks. Can you hear me loud and clear, brother?
Loud and clear.
Excellent.
Well,
yes,
welcome, Cameron. Yeah, I was just going. I was just going over some of the questions, and I know you had some questions that came in too that I can't see, and you wanted to, go over those. There's another question here by Mo Eben from X. It said, Emery, I have a question for you. Why are you no longer associated with Dr. Stephen Greer? What happened, and what do you think is going on behind the scenes now? Well, number one, I was with Dr. Stephen Greer. Consider him one of my best friends and brothers of light. He basically setting. I had to break away because I needed to. I was volunteer. I volunteered to do all that. And I put millions of dollars into it and my time, and it was a great experience because I wanted to know what the civilians were doing. There's rumors out there that I was an infiltrator or CIA or something, and that wasn't me. I was just looking for, see what the civilians were doing when I got out, and it was a great experience. And he has a great protocol, and I recommend the protocol to anyone. He has just accomplished so much and been through a lot, and anyone in his position, it's very difficult, and he has very high standards that, you have to adhere to. And, he runs a tight ship, and I think that's great. Um, you know, I I had to put my energy into healing and helping humanity, and I didn't have the time to keep doing that. Just volunteering my life just to that. I do that already anyway. I have my own expeditions and stuff, and it was just time for me after that many years of working with him that I decided to go out and start my whole legacy with the clinics and healing people. So that's all. And what do you think is going on behind the scenes? There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I'm not here to a lot of that stuff's going to come out in the open. I do separate myself from lots of different individuals out there that I don't want to be associated with for certain things, and it's really just based on my protection and where I need to go with what my mission is here on planet Earth, informing you guys to the best of my ability, and that's about it. Um, so thanks for asking. Yeah. Hey, Falcon lover, we love you too, and I appreciate you for saying that. What we got? Okay, have your liquids help rejuvenate kidneys? I'm on dialysis, but I very much believe they can renew. Any thoughts you could share? Well, I can't, really comment on that. I would like to comment on that, but we do have something that definitely helps the kidneys that has white papers behind it. That is medically documented, so I can talk to you about that. And it's called starkinase. And starkinase is a pill. It's a gel cap, 3 gel caps that you take every day. That was developed by Dr. Chan from Malaysia, and it goes under a different name. I know they don't really sell it here in the U.S., but I definitely support all of the backing of all that stuff. So we have a product that is based off of that. And if you're interested in the Starkinase product, mostly it really helps. Number one, clean out the kidneys and the liver and the gallbladder, and gets that get that working. If you're on dialysis already, you would have to talk to your physician and your doctor about that before trying anything. But I have no problem sending you all the white papers. Just email us at cosmicmarket3@gmail.com, and you can also email us at Emery Starscan at gmail.com. If you guys are interested in scans, treatments, or Starkinase, that's a whole separate division we have. So that would be Emery Starscan at gmail.com for those types of questions. And we can have a talk with you privately about that, and talk to your physicians as well. We work a lot with modern day physicians. This is considered pseudoscience, of course. We can't make too many claims about anything, but we can just say through our experience, this is some of the results that have happened. Luckily for us, we have hundreds and hundreds of white papers documenting the active ingredients in our solutions, and in our our different types of capsules and stuff that we are out there. So it's not me saying it; it's independently studied, and tests have been run on all these things. And I'd be more than happy to send you all that documentation for the Starkinase, which is great for cleaning out the vessels. Most people that have atherosclerosis, my wife was one of them, and she worked out, eats perfect. It really cleans out the vessels over time. And I think a lot of people have this problem, which, the hardening of the arteries and the vessels leads to lack of oxygen and blood supply. So a lot of our patients, we just put them on the Starkinase, and within 3 months, they have, better, more oxygen going into their extremities, and by taking the other solutions too, which help with hemoglobin and things like that, It's a no-brainer, and it's a winner, and it's documented. It's backed up by lots of white papers and studies. Like I said, it's not this is not pseudoscience. This is real science that has been proven around the world. It's not available though all around the world yet. So we'll see what's to come coming up in the future, because I know with the new advent with Trump talking about the big pharmaceutical corporations and allowing more different solutions to come in, I think there's going to be an opening for that. Okay. Go ahead, Cameron, take it away. What do you got for me, man?
Emery Smith, it's good to be here with you. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, man, good to see you. I mean, I'm sorry I've been gone for a couple of weeks filming, and you've been holding down the fort for us, and you're looking great, and there's always great updates and beautiful things to talk about.
Yeah, this is a beautiful day. Happy winter solstice, everybody, and upcoming holiday wishes. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It's good to be here with you all, and I do want to follow up with you on all of your adventures lately, and get your comments and your feedback. So I know everybody has, anyone following you, Emery, you just got back from being in Colorado and finished new Cosmic Disclosure episodes at Gaia. So we're super excited for that. What can viewers expect for this return, and what topics are you most excited to explore?
Well, I think with both of the, I'm getting a little feedback from your side. I can hear myself. I think the biggest thing to take away is that there's people coming forward now that are renowned scientists, that are highly educated, credentialed people that are sharing their experiences, and they're saying, this is what happened in my life, and I can't take this to the grave. I want everyone to know that I have nothing to gain from this. Here's my story. I was contacted by an extraterrestrial. I've been working with extraterrestrials my whole life. They've given me all these amazing ideas to build these amazing platforms scientifically for health, and also relaying messages to the general public. And they've been holding on to it and utilizing these technologies to help people. And I think it's just so beautiful that, and you're going to see more and more of this. And I predicted this. Every year we're going to get more people, highly credentialed people out there that have documentation also to back up, what they're saying, and inventing things that they normally would never have invented or even thought that they would be in the position they are in today, creating healing devices, and also, relaying information directly from extraterrestrials to the public. And I think that's a big deal. I think people really need to hear the stories, of not just, oh, hey, I'm this person and this happened to me. It's more like, when I was this age and was visited, and this is how it unfolded, and I met the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and this and this and this, and they guided me to where I'm at today. And they gave me, the permission, like, hey, it's time. You should be able to go out and talk. You have to understand, these people have been severely attacked their entire life. Their entire life they've been attacked because of the knowledge they have, because certain entities know they were in communication. And not everyone had an easy street. When when you're a contactee, it can get very scary, because there's white hats, black hats, blue hats, gray hats, all kinds of hats watching you to see what you're going to do with that information. So this is, something that, we have to have, a lot of respect for these individuals coming forward. Like I did. I never thought I'd come forward 10 years ago. There's no way I was going to think I had to come forward because I was going to be killed. And that's it. And I did. And it was an instant, much gratitude and a lot of protection. And, thanks to the supporters back then. And everyone that was surrounding me, getting me to come forward. Thank you, David Wilcock, because he convinced me to do it. I was never going to do that. I didn't even tell Greer about my any of my stuff. I just wanted to fit in and experience with everyone else. I wasn't there to try to tell everyone certain stories or whatever to get certain things out there. It was really just at that time a protection thing, and it ended up activating a lot of people. And when I saw the activation in people, then I saw the greatness behind people telling their stories. So I think what I had experienced this past week at Gaia Studios was not just the shows, but what happens behind the scenes, and the dinners and the lunches, and meeting their groups of people and their people, and hearing how they went from holding all this information to this big lift off of their consciousness of, now I can talk about this, I want to talk about it, I want to be out there for people to contact me so I can help humanity. And the main message, though, that I took away, that everyone wants everyone just to get along, stop killing each other, and really focus on yourselves, because you can't help the world until you get yourself in alignment. And a lot of these people, not just the two people that I interviewed, but many people that I've interviewed, we all go through these struggles, in life, that, you want to be of service, you want to help, but what about yourself? How's your health today? You want to help someone else, but, let's focus on you first. Let's also, think about how you're going to take care of yourself to take care of everyone else. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you have, other colleagues out there, not thinking about themselves. They're going out there, they know it's going to be a combat zone. It's a spiritual war going on right now. And the spiritual war is very serious, and it's very scary. You can call them demons, you can call them bad entities, you can call them bad ETs. I don't care what you call them. It is going on because we're now we're transforming into this new dimension. And this whole transitioning into the new dimension is bringing in a lot of different sensory activation in our DNA, where people are having experiences and not knowing really to talk about it, because they think, if I talk about this, people are going to think I'm crazy. And I think it's neat to see this unfolding worldwide, all around the world. And it starts with activation of watching, like, the shows on Cosmic Disclosure, and interacting and doing your background checks on all these people that are out there that are talking, because it's easy to get caught up in the hype and the media, like with 3i Atlas that got blown out of proportion, and there was so many claims and da 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 da. I just had to shut it down on my my emails and social with that, because it's going to happen, it's going to unfold. Yes, there's extraterrestrials. Yes, they're already living here. Yes, they're amongst the solar system. It's already been talked about now in the media. So now what? Okay, you still have to live today. You still have to take care of yourself, and you still have to, love your neighbor and love everyone around you, and be there, be present. You don't have to go out and, convince someone extraterrestrials exist, or, dog someone or put them down. As soon as we see anyone attacking anyone, that person has a problem, obviously, with themselves. And it all is, based off of emotion. Most of all of our patients and people that we are interviewing and things, it's emotional based on themselves, that they bring on disease and famine and stuff like that. And that can easily be fixed too. And that's why a lot of our solutions and supplements make you feel calm, so you can also, deal with your loved ones and deal with society, what's going on, because it's going to be a super eye opener in 2026, and not everyone's going to be able to adapt to that. The transition is a very scary transition. You're going to see things that you only saw in the movies, and you're going to have to come to terms with that. And it's going to really destruct organized religion and the history of what we were taught, which of course I look forward to. And so do you, and most of my viewers do as well. Not everyone can remember, where they come from and what the mission is. And I love watching the followers wake up and seeing that, they are important. They are part of the bigger story. And it is, because we're all one and we all are in this together. And it's a very beautiful time to be here, a beautiful time to be alive, and a beautiful time to be of service. And so when I see others doing this, interviewing, it just brings light to my heart. I'm biting my tongue most of the time interviewing these two individuals because I felt like that's me talking. You can relate. It's kind of like when we have our deep conversations, Cameron, in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. when we're working late on our projects. It's like we both have that telepathy going. And it was amazing, the telepathy between these two individuals, Dolly Safran and Dr. Lana Morrow, is amazing. They already mastered telepathy because they have ET contact. Most contactees are really great with telepathy, where, there's different forms of telepathy, okay? Where there's telepathy where you kind of like already know the person so well, you kind of already know what they're gonna say, what's gonna happen. And there's telepathy where you're actually transmitting and receiving information lightning fast within milliseconds. And these individuals were, highly evolved in that. And a lot of, you guys out there listening to this are those people too. And you guys get what I'm talking about. And you're not crazy, that you can see things and hear things other people can't hear and see and connect to. And, I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive, and a beautiful time to watch the transition for everyone.
All right, I took myself off of mute. Yeah, well, there's some really exciting topics and
Oh,
these episodes to be released, Emery.
oh, you cut out, Cameron. I couldn't hear you. There might be a little bit of lag, Cameron. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
There's a little bit of a lag, a delay going on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right, there's some exciting and fascinating topics and is filmed. But when do you expect those to come to be released? When can we expect that new Cosmic Disclosure episodes to be released, Emery?
Well, you did cut out, just so you know, on your end. You're cut, but I know the question. I know the question. When it comes to Gaia, we film sometimes, 10, 20 episodes at once, and you guys are seeing this released a month later, 2 months, 3 months later sometimes.
Yeah,
and the reason for that is because depending on what the subject is, like with Sebastian, he had some information on 3i, so they really wanted to get that out right away. So they bumped him to the front, and they released that with Josh. And with other episodes, they have to edit, they have to do their, all the stuff they do. It's a really big setup. We might film for an hour, and out of that, you're going to see the 20, 25 minutes of, of the top-notch stuff. or they might split it up into different episodes. So usually it's 4 to 8 weeks later, but that's just an opinion, a hypothesis. It could take longer. So I don't know when.
Roger that. Yeah, we'll be highly anticipating that. So let's just put it out there. Maybe, in the first end of first quarter, beginning of second quarter, 2026. That's my estimation. We'll just have to see. There's a lot of production that's involved in this high quality type of production value. So totally understandable. Now you did mention about getting together with Dolly and Dr. Lana and how just, your connectivity, your ability to connect with these individuals and guests on the show on Gaia, and they seem to be very intelligent and full of wisdom and very compassionate. I mean, we're all going through things in life, you know, and you talked about just being centered and being at, really in alignment with yourself. And one thing that I just kind of clued in on when you were talking is it is so essential to be around others who are like-minded. Um, to be with the community and to be with those peers that can lift you up. We're going through such a big time of transition, as you mentioned, and as we go through this transformation, you know um we have to do the work ourselves. You had said that it's very crucial and important that we do our own work, that we do the shadow work, that we go within and we do the work that is absolutely necessary, because when we transcend that, then we can be of service. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be in alignment
Mhm.
with my highest purpose and self, so that I can contribute to this new world that we are co-creating together.
Yep.
So it's very important to do the healing, not only with the supplements and nutraceuticals and these amazing different devices that Emery Smith and Darla Smith and your fellow colleagues have at your disposal to help people. But we also need to heal ourselves to be able to take in
Yep.
this information and discern and then distribute and help others in this process of awakening. So, with that being said, I know that in the past, Cosmic Television Network, and also on your guys shows and guests you've had there on Cosmic Disclosure, and it has been just super hyped in, sensationalized in the news. And even back in August, when you did a show, a webinar with Brad Olson, and you've also talked with, as you mentioned, Sebastian Martin, and it has been kind of blown out of proportion in many ways. But I just kind of wanted you to comment on that real quick, because it has been at the center of our consciousness in humanity at the moment. So back in August, you had a webinar with Brad Olson. You discussed Three Eye Atlas, so this object, this comet, as a potential interstellar craft. So with that in mind, and I just want you to comment, like, what makes this object similar or significant at this time for disclosure, and do you have any new insights currently that are emerging?
Well, I think, because there was so much media involvement and Abelob and everyone, like, they're even showing media now, Abelob talking online. It's AI, it's not even him. People think it's him. There's a lot of disinformation that's out there. Everyone needs to connect to whatever they feel they need to connect to. Whether you're a remote viewer, whether you're a channeler, it doesn't matter. If that resonates with you, then it's okay to go with that. As far as the actual, Three Eye Atlas is concerned, um, you know, my own feeling is, yes, this is an object that's intelligently controlled. I never thought it would was going to come here or do anything. We have these objects, thousands of them every year that come by that I'm privy to and see. This was just a larger than life object with other fragments around it that were not behaving um, as a normal comet. Now, that being said, the information is so misconstrued out there because you're just basing it off of me saying that, or one of my colleagues saying that, or the director of the Atlas Observatory saying that, or some other quantum physicist. I mean, and that's okay because that's your connection to trying to get the most pertinent information out there. And I think that's, for the most part, for anyone out there trying to figure something out, is to really use your own discernment, about that. And yeah, it's coming or it's gone. It came. What happened? Okay, I had a great dream last night. Yeah. Okay. Life is going to be like that all next year. You're going to see lots of people claiming things, and it's hard, to be knowing all. I don't know all. I get information, I share it with you guys. If I have direct information, I always tell you if it's secondhand or direct. That's one thing I'll always do. Or if it's myself just telling you, hey, this is what I think. I don't do predictions because the timelines change, and I am big on time, meaning I really don't believe in time because of what I've been through with portal technology and other scientific things I've been involved with. So that can change at any moment. So today could be this, tomorrow it's that. And that's like life. That's just what it is. With the ETs that are talking to us, when I first heard about 3i, I mean, come on. Okay, there's a race of ETs, using gas, coal, and oil and showing that they're coming to invade us. I mean, think about that, guys. This doesn't sound right. They're already here, number one. The reptilians are already here. The serpents are here. The Dracos are here. Galactic Federation's been here. It's not like it's not going to be this thing coming and everyone hyping up and making money off of it because of their podcast and their channeling and all this stuff. If it sounds a little off, like someone said on here, a few people said on here, just something not right about it. I don't feel the vibe for that. And that's correct. You are correct because it's not in your timeline and it's not affecting you as it is everyone else. But people do grasp onto this because it's exciting. And you have a quantum physicist and astrophysicist saying it's behaving erratically. And then you have, people that are remote viewing it, and you have remote viewers remote viewing it, blocking the remote viewers and sending out energies to make you think this is happening and that happening. And like I said, there's a silent war going on, and there's a fear-based war going on. And there's no, I don't see any evil alien invasion, anything, to that status. I think Agent Wenner, one of our great scientists, came to us and, and you know who he is, and he says, "Oh, come on, Emery. You're telling me there's a 30-mile long craft coming with a 300 insectoids or reptilians on it, and they're going to land on the planet? Come on. If they wanted us, Control Alt Delete, we'd be gone in 2 seconds. We have our own amazing space force that's out there, and the Galactic Federation, all the extraterrestrials, whether you call them good or bad, they're all working together. We are really important. We have an important planet. We are important. We are connected to all of them. They were once us. We are them. Okay, get that through your head. And you are protected and you are loved. And it will get scary. And there's going to be some scary things happen next year. And there's going to be some calamities. And there's going to be some massive destruction. But hasn't there always been? Okay, we're not going to base it off that. We're going to deal with it as it comes, and you're going to use your heart center and not fall into listening. How about listening to yourself for once? Trust yourself.
Yeah, absolutely love that philosophy. Love yourself. Trust yourself. I've always thought, I'll just briefly comment. I mean, we had so many, just as you said, the astrophysicists and all these scientists, they were totally just blown away. This throughout Atlas object, it just defied the scientific community, and that just matriculated into the community, into the consciousness, and it went down so many different directions. I mean, people were talking about there being, Draco reptilians on there. People were talking about there being, channeling the different star nations out there, including the Lyrans, people saying that there's benevolent beings on there. There's even, people talking about boarding on this mothership. People were saying that it's gonna. I mean, there were so many possibilities, and I mean, it could have flown by and activated all these ancient sites, and we don't even know yet because it's just this gradual progression, based on our consciousness,
Yep.
our level of consciousness. What do you think about that, Emery?
Yeah, absolutely. Your level of consciousness determines, the outcome of your future. You're making your own future. You made me. I'm talking to myself. You're talking to yourself right now. Yeah, go to sleep thinking about that. Yeah, and it is true. Everything that everyone said is true. So all that is, and that's what happened, and that's that reality for all those individuals and ourselves listening to it, and whether to accept it or not. It's intelligently controlled, I believe. I know. Um, the other stuff, I'm not going to speculate. I have my own communication with the extraterrestrials and my own opinions on things. I don't always share everything because it's not the time. And like I said, I don't like to predict anything because it's always changing. Things could have happened, would have, should have, and that's okay. I mean, and that's the great thing about being an interdimensional being. And we're all interdimensional beings. We're all light beings. We all can connect to different things and get different messages. And we also can be taken off the wrong course, listening to different thoughts and media, and even connecting with different entities that maybe you thought were giving you the truth. So there's no good or bad behind any of this. It was a positive experience. There was activations that happened around the world. People were activated. The planets were activated. Things happened, and we're still here, and everything is fine. And I think it all was a very positive experience for everyone to even go through this. It was definitely a teaching experience for even the greatest of the greats. And you have to take away from that. What did you learn from this? Did you learn something from this? I did. Hey, JP, I see JP just came in. So yeah, like I said, I agree with all of it. I mean,
Yeah, what's up, JP?
but yeah, other than that, Cameron, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
JP's in the house. Akuria mate, JP. Yeah, so there's potentially a lot of different ways to look at this, perspectives, rabbit holes to go down. And now that the throughout Atlas object has passed in its closest proximity to planet Earth, it's just going to be continuing on its procession into space, through our solar system. And better believe it, ask people like Emery and JP. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of other objects out there flying around. And the one thing that's interesting, and this will kind of segue into the next question, is and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it very suspicious that like NASA and in certain official type of government agencies, there seemed to be a lot of cover up or just disinformation on it. But why in the world was there not like a NASA live stream on this? see it. Did you see it?
Well, the observatories were definitely following this, and I think it's beautiful that there is an underground society with all the observatories that are following things and watching things, and there are always hush hush things without getting people worked up. And some of the rumors were, oh, we don't want anyone to know. It's always there's always going to be disinformation. Ask Richard Doty. Disinformation's part of being. I'm just kidding. That was inside joke. But the thing is, it's always going to have disinformation out there, and saying and not saying can both be disinformation for us as the public, whether it's NASA 1 or NASA 2 or SSP 1, 2, 3, or 4. There always is going to be that. That's always going to be there. So you have to have that discernment, and that's why being healthy, eating right, and practicing under the law of love will allow you to see through a lot of this and have your own discernment. I'm not going to change my whole life around just because there's a craft coming. There's crafts constantly here. As JP pointed out, there's arcs everywhere around the world. There's facilities, and there's life everywhere, and there's multi layers of the earth that are housing to many different races, and this has been going on for millions and millions of years. And we're part of a whisper in time, and that we get to be here and experience. So experience and have fun, and don't get caught up in all the hype of when they're going to land and what's going to happen, because every new day is a day that you can wake up and project how you want that future to be. And I think that's really important. You're a super powerful being. We are, the extraterrestrials really do look at us like we are the superheroes of the universe, because we're so difficult to destroy, and we're also kind of easygoing, and we survive. And one of the biggest things I want everyone to know is that we have one of the most amazing things that not all species have, and that is adaptability. We can adapt to the surroundings, whether it's emotional surroundings, chaos, or viral, bacterial, biological, whatever it is. The human body does adapt to it, and it does get to see through the veil. And everyone has this. It's just you trying to connect with that.
Absolutely. It reminded me something you said of one of my favorite Stoic philosophers. He says, "We are but nothing, just a wisp of a soul in a corpse." So live your life to the fullest. Be present. Be here right now. Every day is a miracle. And as JP always says, it's all about the love. Let's spread the love and the light. And you know, just kind of looking at the dynamics of our reality, and there's so much going on right now. Oh, here's my dog. Hey, babies. All right. I just had the dog just come in here on the live stream.
All right, don't make me open the door.
So hey, let's get back into the. Can you hear me, Emery?
Yeah.
Let's get right back into the conversation, because we just kind of left off on the shadow government, if you will.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of positive change, a lot of positive movement, and specifically too, I'd love to get your comments on the disclosure climate right now.
Okay.
And with the recent film, The Age of Disclosure documentary.
Oh yeah.
And the increased UFO transparency, do you feel we are hitting a tipping point in 2025 and then going into 2026.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of, Steven Spielberg, which I don't know how much I can talk about this, but, he's definitely been downloaded all the information with that was true about the CIA and stuff. As B2 knows here, B2 saying hello. That's B2, everybody. That's one of the dragons. His head's bigger than mine. So this movie's great. It's going to be good because he's going to, it is a message. He does have lots of information. He's an experiencer. I know them very well. I remember when Stephen Greer, myself, Jan Bravo, and I won't mention the other two people because I'm not allowed to, when we met with his son a while back to discuss a lot of what was going on and was introduced, to his family. It's incredible what Steven Spielberg knows and his experiences. He has had experiences, direct contact, and he's been read into a lot of the different projects, and it did help him, make Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. And he's probably been read into a lot more. So him having his own affinity because of his experiences, which I don't know if I'm really at liberty to talk about his personal experiences. I don't want to go off on exposing things, but he was visited, at his home in California, off the coast there, and had some amazing experiences. I'll just say that. And I think he really wanted to tell us more in his movies. And then maybe this is a time where he can, or maybe it's a time where it's going to be a dialogue where it has, he's insinuating things. It'll be interesting to see, what he does. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not in contact with him anymore, or the family or anybody, or the connections that I had with that. But at the time that I did, it was really enlightening to know about his experiences one-on-one and how that unfolded. It was beautiful. I'm hoping that will have an effect on what he's about to deliver. It'll be just interesting and to see. I mean, of course, we're all waiting to see this because it's Steven Spielberg. So how far that will be from the truth and reality, I don't know. I don't know the players that might be involved with that right now, like I used to. I'm not inquiring about that because I don't care. I already know too much about what's really going to be happening in the next coming years, and I just think we'll wait and see what happens. I'm not going to speculate on that because I don't have the intel for that, and it's not really one of my priorities. I think it's great that there's, of course, another disclosure movie, and I'm just really happy it's him doing it because I think there will be hidden messages regardless, as he has always done. And like I said, he's, as Ronald Reagan said when he did the private viewing for Close Encounters of the Third Kind to his cabinet, only few people here in the audience know how real and how truthful this movie really is. And that's on the internet. When I mean, that's not word for word, it's something like that. So we'll see. I don't know much more than that. So I'm hoping also. I see Trizzy here. Yeah, I hope it's not fear based. It may be. It could show. If it is fear based, that'd be really sad. That means he's going along with that agenda. There's an evil alien movie put out. It used to be once a month. It's like every 2 weeks now worldwide. So there's always something out there with the fear-based mongering, which is not that's not beneficial to anybody. I think everyone should understand that there are negative sides to what's going on in different dimensional beings. There are types of wars and things going on. It's not perfect everywhere. We are highly protected from a lot of catastrophes, and I definitely have hope for humanity and the future. Oh, hey, R2. Where R2?
So Emery, yes, I really appreciate your comments and just reassuring us of future positive timelines in regard to so much emphasis on the topic of disclosure, especially UFO disclosure. I don't really like the word UAPs. It's kind of co-opt, or
Yeah.
UFO has been kind of co-opt. So actually, this is incredible that Steven Spielberg is, he has directed a great 80s movie that we all love. We grew up watching it, E.T. And here he is dropping the Disclosure Day, right? So let's also, I'd love to hear what you have to think of, what your thoughts were, your feedback. I know we actually got to watch part of this documentary together when I visited you last, and you were very intrigued, So let's visit that documentary. And what do you think about the age of disclosure with all these whistleblowers and that are really like highly high officials in government, high officials in military, and these different 3-letter agencies? What do you think about that, brother?
Well, it's disclosure. Yes, you have credible witnesses that are there. We have too many agendas, in my opinion. There's lots of agendas out there with organizations, agencies, military, politics, DoD, military industrial complex, corporations, other programs that no one even knows about yet beyond SSPs. There's a lot of control still. I take everything with a grain of salt, and I look a little bit more deeper than the average person when I'm watching a documentary, and the people involved with the documentary and the funding that was involved and the people that go out to do great things and find themselves really deep in situations. And I know a lot of my colleagues will back me up on this, that you can get caught up in, and that agenda might be coerced into something that you're not able to accomplish what you thought you were going to accomplish. So I think all disclosure documentaries are fantastic, and hats off to everyone involved with those and people involved. But there's a lot going on that people don't know behind the scenes. Many organizations, Ross Colbert was just on TV doing an interview asking about the Star Watchers program that went blank in August. There's nothing. October, they did they made a comment on their social, and then they're gone. They were supposed to be in charge of everything. So, I'm going to say I can't talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not getting involved with that stuff. I've turned down all the newspapers and all the media that contacts me about this, and I'm not getting involved with any of that just yet. Maybe next year I'll reconsider. I think these guys are doing a great job getting these amazing people. I'm so glad with all the new faces that are the Age of Disclosure has. I think they did a great job bringing in the new faces that are credible and letting them, tell their story. It was, very well put together. But there's more to the story. and there's disclosure behind disclosure, and it's really deep because you're dealing with a lot of different entities, and it's hard to talk about, and you're dealing not just with, you just said that reality, what reality, which the three-dimensional reality, we're multidimensional. This is a multidimensional reality that we're living in with many different facets. And I know everyone's really trying to do the best they can with what they have to get the information out. So I'm glad they did this. Definitely watch it. And, there's always more going behind the scenes. And that's just in time, things will, as they're supposed to unfold, they will unfold.
Yeah, a lot of people were commenting that, oh, this is just recycled disclosure information. We already know it, with the likes of people like Luis Elizondo, and and it's always good to just like take everything with a grain of salt. But I really do think that it was a very like well produced film, and the more time that goes on, the more that people are looking at this information, the more it is just bringing people up to speed, if they ever had any shadow of a doubt that we are not alone in this universe. There is way more going on. And I just had a private, communication with JP, who was here on the thread, the chat. And he said, "Man, we don't even know half of it." He's and so it can be really
Yeah,
scary,
it is. There's a lot going on that
and one
people.
because there is in this film, it is still in that kind of context of this is a threat, right? This is a threat. So I want people to think about that, and as Emery always says, we can connect with our star family, and we can attract those positive ETs, and we can cultivate that type of relationship with God and other beings of the universe who are of the higher vibrational frequency consciousness, that don't have like some type of nefarious negative agenda.
Yeah.
And I think that it's okay. Like, we are going through this thing, we're getting through it together, and we have such and just like, I just want to point out something that I admire and I respect about you and many other insiders who are, quote, blowing the whistle, like in this film, The Age of Disclosure. It is great to see more. I think they had something like 40, Emery, like 40 or almost
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
people in there that
Yeah.
were,
Mhm.
combined. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are new to this, they're
Mhm.
high level officials, and they
Mhm.
are part of this, so it's waking people up, and they did a great job. And
Yeah, I don't consider myself
yeah,
like a whistleblower, and I got tagged that from early on with Wilcock. I'm not a whistleblower. I was already out of the projects, just relaying the information of my experiences. So I'm not here, whistleblower is kind of a negative term for me. I'm an informant, and I told, I told the truth. I told what was happening at the time, and even to this day, it's the same thing. There's nothing on any of these disclosure programs I already don't know. So for me, it's just like, what's really going on? Where's the agenda? Who's writing the agenda? I do my own remote viewing. I do my own investigations with my team because I'm very well connected worldwide with intelligence. And I put all that together, take that with a grain of salt. I'm glad you said that. Take that with a grain of salt. Everything you hear, you got to take with a grain of salt. Nothing is set in stone, and everything changes every second. So I think keeping an open mind about, what you hear and what you read, what you see. You know, I remember my father, one of the last things he said is, believe nothing you hear, nothing you read, and only half of what you see. Now, after I've been through the projects, I have a different view. Believe nothing you hear, nothing you see, nothing you read, because you have to find out and go out there and touch it for yourself, or have the experience yourself and do your own investigation. And I love that about these documenters, because they go out, these people, like Greer, and they, get the hammer and go knock on the door and open up and see what's really going on. And, you know, there's a plethora of information that's out there that's really hard, to access. And there's only a few people that have access to that information. All the other information was information that was given to them, all these newbies that are out there, and they're running with what they've been given because, oh, it came from, the NRO. It must be real. I mean, a lot of this stuff, I've seen too many great, intelligent, and well-respected colleagues out there that go into this because they think that their source was good. When you have sources that are looking for their sources that know that source, that's when you can really narrow it down, because not everyone has a best friend in the military or in the security agencies. It's hard, and those people, if you do have a best friend, you're probably not going to relay what your best friend just told you on national media. So just because something leaked, that's another. I don't believe a tic tac video or any video or anything leaks. No, I mean, I'll believe that pilot from Delta Airlines any day over a leaked information. Leaked information is disinformation most of the time. So it's one of those things. That's why one of the great things out there when they did have when they did the big disclosure in 2001 and brought in these people and the astronauts and everyone, that was firsthand experience, people that were there. And I don't want to hear about someone coming up to the podium saying, well, I work for someone and I saw the briefings and I read this. Well, here, I got something for you to read. It's not the same as having the experiencers, like JP, he's an experiencer. Richard Doty, an experiencer. Clifford Stone, an experiencer. David Adair, experiencer. Emery Smith, an experiencer. We were there. We saw it. We were relaying this to you. It's not, oh, I read a file. No, I did read lots of files and see many things in the classified projects. And I always say, well, I read this, saw this. Even when I was in the classified projects, they said 3% or 3 to 5% of what I see or read or operate on is fake. So there's disinformation within the reality of construct of many people that have worked in classified projects, and that's a given. That's what it's all about. So in case you someday might go forward, no one's going to believe you. They didn't care about me going forward talking about ETs. They didn't want me talking about propulsion units and over unity and free energy. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And just like directly to the point, you and many other, especially, I mean, it was years and years ago now, and many other insiders, you guys were experiencers. That's a big difference between a lot of these, high level officials in, movies like documentary that just came out last month, The Age of Disclosure. But with so much momentum and so much, it's seeding the consciousness with the disclosure in this movement. You as an experiencer, you have a lot of experience, right? For
Well, it's like, I mean, another one is like Michael Herrera. He was boots on the ground, no pun intended. Michael Herrera was boots on the ground over in Malaysia when all that stuff went down. Okay, he's an experiencer. He was there. He saw it. He was later debriefed on what really happened. I was later debriefed on, my space shuttle mission. I mean, these are things that happened down the road where you're getting justified that what you really went through, not only did you really go through it, but there was an agenda behind it that you were part of that maybe you weren't supposed to be part of. And that's where it gets more real for the experiencers that have retired from this. And you don't retire from it. It's here today. Threats are all the time. They're not as bad as what they used to be, because there's a lot of protection for experiencers, because they need experiencers for other things. And that's why the Herreras and the missions and the Adaires are still here today, and myself, because there's a bigger story going on that is being reserved for that time. So we're blessed to have, like I said, all these new whistleblowers or insiders come out. It's really important, because more and more people get a little bit more comfortable. There's thousands and thousands of Adaires and Smiths and Herreras out there, and it's even though you say it's safe, they're saying, "Oh no, you're protected." Bullshit! You are not protected. That is the biggest misconstrued thing. They said, "Oh, that whole thing." Oh, well, yeah. We put this bill in place and this law that you insiders are protected. You are not protected. I don't care what you're protected when the president of the United States says you're protected. When you get direct orders from the president of the United States that you're protected, and you're protected, maybe. So a lot of us are, and that's the only reason we're still breathing and kicking, and we're not relaying what's really the whole story, because the whole story needs to unfold naturally, and that's what's happening. It's unfolding the way it's supposed to. It's not. There's even journalists that are out there saying, I was just watching, the journalist was saying, "Oh no, I really can't talk about that. I'm not really supposed to talk about it." A journalist, like, "Oh, you've been debriefed on something you can't talk about." Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay, buddy. Yeah. So I get it, but don't be a journalist then.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you have put yourself put yourself at risk, in harm's way, and for the benefit of all of us, and we appreciate all that you've done. And so, with this concept of disclosure and the movement going into 2026, you have shared the personal cost that it and how that has affected you from coming forward. And I know you wouldn't change a thing, so we owe you gratitude for that. So, really, when you were coming forward, what advice would you give other insiders, or, as you said, experiencers who are kind of maybe on the fence, or really wanting to come forward, considering disclosure? Would what advice would you give these insiders or experiencers?
well, it's up to the experiencer, because of the life-changing exposure that happens. And you're, they have, these experiencers have families. And, those of you who watched my first episode 1, season 1, Cosmic Disclosure, you'll see me shaking in my boots. I was scared shitless. There was, massive threats. So there's the exposure factor, which I understand why a lot of experiencers don't want to come out. And it's kind of like they'll call each other and we'll talk. You think I should do this? It's not up to me. This is a life-changing decision. When you come out as an experiencer, they will try to disapprove everything, and that's why it's good to have all your paperwork ready, and have everything all in alignment, because you're going to be thrown through the ringer and everything's going to be exposed. And luckily for me, I didn't have any dirt on me like that was threatening to my credibility, because it's amazing. So the best part about that for these experiencers is that they're super credible. They will be exposed, and they might get harassed. Like missions. You got harassed. Herrera got harassed. I see every time they come out, there's a little brief moment that year is pretty rough. Where you're going to be under surveillance. I'm under surveillance 24/7, always have been, always will be. I live with it. My family lives with it. We're good with it. So it's just one of these things that that's just my life. For new people that are not used to that, it could be a little overwhelming when you have a family and you're trying to raise kids and you're going through that. So my advice is, think hard about it and think about what your mission is, and think what you have to offer, and how, what is that going to look like, for you and for your family, and to get it off your chest and get it out there. How does that help humanity? There's certain projects, I was offered recently, and Darla was like, no, you're not effing doing that. No. And I get it, because there's a risk. There's more of a risk, and you're more of exposure. And we don't really need to do that. It's happening naturally. Like I said, disclosure. And I think the best thing I could just tell these new experiencers that are coming forward is, really sit down with your family and talk about it. Be really communicative about what could, may or may not happen, and see what outweighs what you feel. I mean, a lot of these people really want to come forward, and some people wait until they're in their 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s to come out, and that's okay. You got to think about yourself first and your family. Have them come first, and then then you can come forward and do what you think is necessary. And we already know you're patriotic because you were in the military or part of these compartmentalized programs. So it's not about that. We're all patriotic. We all want to do the right thing, but we have to protect one another too. And protection is not, it could be misleading with many organizations out there, and many, I'll just say that, because it's not cut and dry as everyone says it is. And it's a huge responsibility, and it's a huge stress, and you have to have the right protection in place. And if it's a group that you're affiliated with, that's the best way, is that you have a group that you trust, that they're already in that insider group, that they can tell you already what happened to them, and stick to those groups and communicate with the families. That's kind of my best advice. And just be careful with it, and please come forward. You have a great family awaiting you.
Thank you, Emery, for providing that advice for any insiders, experiences who are out there, and just a message of encouragement and positive, like join the tribe. We need you in the fight for the truth and disclosure.
Absolutely.
Emery, you have said so many things in your interviews over the years, especially with the advent of AI right now. I mean, it is just ubiquitous. It's everywhere. There's no slowing down. So I want to get your comments as you've discussed the AI consciousness and frequency, how it relates to frequency-based technology. So how do these emerging technologies connect to what you've witnessed in classified programs?
Oh, okay. So, well, I can't talk about it. The frequencies that it's all frequency, all the future.
Yeah, just like the technology and the frequency,
Yeah,
your experience.
Well, frequencies of sound and light. Okay, it's always been about sound and light, and also color. There's a reason why we have color, because these nanometers of color actually bring light into the cell and help, regenerate the cell and protect the cell. So I think moving forward, a lot of these technologies have to do with light and, of course, sound and the frequencies they give, which are beneficial to the human aura and the human light body, which presents this three-dimensional structure. You're looking at my skin suit here. So this light that you are perceiving as Emery Smith here in this three-dimensional skin suit is actually coming from, photons. And I think it's fascinating to see stuff I learned, in the 80s and 90s. Now it's coming out and being more widely accepted. We just got back from the A4M conference here, and it was great to see, all these different systems out there that have to deal with light and sound, and because sound before form, and this is kind of our structure of the universe, is the sound before form, and it all resonates with that. So a lot of these new technologies that you're going to be hearing about on Cosmic Disclosure, and the stuff that we talk about on our webinars every Sunday, has to do with frequency. And you're going to see frequency-based medicine. It's going to be the new norm, because there's a lot it can do. It can see in the body. It can give you detailed pictures of the body, kind of like ultrasound started out, and MRI, CAT scans, and X-rays. You can't see an X-ray, but look at, you can see it on a film. So there's lots of wavelengths of light that are yet to be exposed to the public, because they don't talk about these classified different spectrums of light, which are pretty much endless, to be honest. It's not just the rainbow light. There's a lot more than that. So I think, with the advent of new technologies that are coming out constantly, and next year, and the teachings of this through these individuals that I have interviewed, is going to be a great eye-opener. A lot of the stuff, too, is kind of classified. So these people are coming out with these types of devices, have to go through stringent authorization to get these kind of things out. A lot of inventors, engineers like myself, we don't get things patented because of that. And I was guilty of that many years ago, doing things that I shouldn't be doing, and got slapped with national security acts for, trying to invent something that I learned about in the projects that I wasn't supposed to, release. And I learned, that the hard way. And that was great, because it was a great learning experience. And I don't want to, I want to protect the nation from technologies that could be used against us. And I don't want anything out there to ever harm anyone. So I'm very compliant when it comes to the FDA and the government, and anything that's out there. I'm more of the person that wants to work with big pharma. I want to work with gas, coal, and oil. I want to work with the medical corporations out there, and in any way, in any capacity I can. I mean, that's what I do. I figure things out for them, so it's lucrative as well for them, and also beneficial to humanity, and most importantly to the earth, because, as you know, I always have the earth come first, and the animals and the plankton of the planet, and then the humans are third. So people give me a lot of crap for that, but without the earth and the living other organisms on the planet, we really can't exist. We're kind of in a symbiotic relationship with this planet and with the creatures of the planet, and we all have to live in harmony. And pretty much all my teachings and writing are based off of that, is living in harmony with the surroundings and each other.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's all about being in harmonizing our energies
Mhm.
with that of our planet and our consciousness, the logos of the planet Earth, as we are going through this, spinning around in space on this rock. We gotta, be at our optimal health and homeostasis, and part of that is being connected with Mother Nature and our planet
Mhm.
Earth. So I agree. It is this symbiotic relationship. And I love your story, Emery, and I'm really excited to see more coming forward in the future. I know uh, in the near future, with there's some more adventures to come. And why don't we? I I just like to ask that: are you taking any time for travels coming up? Are you taking any more trips in the near future? And are you going to be interacting with the public in the next year? What are you doing?
Well, I decided, I took off 5 years from, all the big expos and all the stuff because we were working on this other business plan for the spaceship healing facility, and it took a lot of our time and energy. And I tried to, just stay really in contact with, doing the cosmic disclosure stuff, which is, a hobby for me. I have my own businesses and stuff that we do as clinicians. Um, and it's not enough. So, I was approached by Rion, a good friend of ours, and he's got Guardians of the Galaxy thing coming up on in May, and he's like, "Hey, would you mind hosting this and doing some, a talk and stuff?" And I said, "Absolutely." I said, "I'm gonna get back into the circuit next year, so." Um, and I'm very thankful to be, I have so many offers. Like I could probably do a conference once a week, every week for the next year, but because I'm involved with more important things for humanity, I really have to stay focused. So I did take the time out, um, and Rion has this, Rise of the Guardians. I'm sorry, Rise of the Guardians here in Sedona, and it's convenient for me too. And I think it's going to be a nice opener to reconnect with the public again, so I can have a one-on-one kind of thing going on. And I'm gonna probably host another special event one of those nights while I'm there, which stay tuned and we'll let you know about. But if you're interested in coming to see me, you can go to emerysmith.co. There is an ambassador link there, I think, Cameron, for Rise of the Guardians. Definitely go to emerysmith.co first and click on that. And there's tickets there. I think they're live streaming too if you can't make it. But I am going to be doing some other events next year, which please subscribe to emerysmith.co. And we will keep you informed of when those are. And I'm looking forward to getting back into the circuit slowly because of time constraints. And, I'm definitely still a part of disclosure as a whole for the planet, and it keeps me very busy on the side of treating patients and just having my own life. So thanks for being patient, and thank you guys for all your support. And I'm gonna start doing more podcasts and stuff. I've turned everyone down here, like I said, the last 5 years, and I'll reconnect with all those individuals that And if you are interested in having me on your podcast or your TV show, I'm open for 2026. You know, I'll entertain it and see what you have going on, and if it fits into the constraints of our busy schedule for next year, I'd love to, support all those other organizations and different expos and conferences that are out there that have to do with disclosure and anything to do with regenerative medicine, of course. Um, be more than happy to look at that. So you can write us in at emerystarlabs@gmail.com, cosmicmarket3@gmail.com, and we have a new website that's going to be coming up. That's emerystarlabs.com. It'll probably be launched January 13th, Darla's birthday. And we're excited to do that. And there's going to be some really new technology that we will be showcasing for you guys. And it's all about education, getting the education out to the people to become their own natural health practitioners in their own home. And that's where it's going. Everyone's going to be their own practitioner in their own home, and we're going to train you how to do that and give you the right necessary devices to make those diagnoses for yourself. and follow up with your medical practitioners that are assigned to you. So looking forward to working with the different types of American medical associations that are out there and other medical corporations that are part of all this. And it's going to be a great new future for everyone. In the future, and extraterrestrials, most children by the time they're 10 are already certified physicians and can perform surgeries. So it's going into a hyper educational platform moving forward in the next coming years, and it's going to be just amazing to see the amount of education that's going to be out there. So education is the key to communication, and communication is the key to peace. So that's what we're striving for.
Absolutely awesome. Totally awesome, dude. There's so many updates. EmeryStarLabs.com is in the works. Official launch January 13th. We'll keep you guys posted. There is a countdown, and we're less than a month out. So it's going to be an updated, upgraded website where all your nutraceuticals and supplements and other services like your scans will be available to the public and beyond. And it's exciting. I mean, boots on the ground. People are going to be at conferences, as and you, the myth, legend, and hero, are going to be at Rise of the Guardians in Sedona. And so you guys go to Emery Smith's different social media channels, and you'll see the poster there. You'll see the link there. That's going to be a direct link that's associated to Emery Smith. And get your tickets. It's going to be I think the first or second weekend of May next year.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful location to have a conference. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be so much fun. And so, we got the website launch, early next year. We got Emery Smith hosting the Rise of the Guardians in Sedona. I believe that's the 8th, 9th, and 10th, or the 9th, 10th, 11th. Let me check that right now. And but for now, just keep going to emerysmith.co. The original website. That is going to be where it's still going to be live. That's where we're going to have a lot of the other um, product there, such as webinars. And Emery, we're looking at doing a subscription on YouTube. We got a lot of things working. We got a lot of things cooking right now. So you guys just stay tuned. You can follow Emery Smith on Cosmic Disclosure Alliance Facebook page. Let me pull that up right now, as well as the Cosmic Television Network on YouTube channel. And so when you're interviewing a lot of guests on Cosmic Television Network, that's where we post it. And we're steadily progressing. We're building the community there. Kind of the grassroots from the ground up. And we haven't been doing it a year, and we're having fun. We're having a good time. There's a lot of stresses in life, a lot of responsibilities, but we got to make time to have fun and connect. It's all about connection. So let's keep connecting through communities like this. If you're interested, you can check it out. As you can see, Cosmic Disclosure Alliance Facebook page. And here, of course, if you go there, you can see things like Rise of the Guardians, get some more information on that, see who's in the lineup. You got JP Missions is going to be there, the inspiration, Rion de Ruin. So we got to get him on the show. He definitely wants to join you on one of your next lives, Emery.
Yeah, we're going to have everyone beginning of the year. Yeah, beginning of the year we'll have Rion, and I know Herrera's coming back. JP Missions, of course. It's got a good lineup next year. Update people, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with everybody. I did a little online thing with JISIC last month. That was fun. Yeah, so I mean, lots to talk about, lots more information. You know, we have a plethora of stuff on our Cosmic Television Network YouTube channel. It's all free. So, you know, you guys can check that out, get caught up with that. Make sure you get caught up with Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia TV. If this is information you like to hear about, then definitely we're on like season 29 now. Oh my gosh, what is going on? And I just want to say there were some comments on there about some of the products, and you can get these 50 ml vials. You know, you don't have to buy a whole 1000 ml bottle of the products, which are very affordable. We also have Nano Rose Gold. Now that's pure gold. And that'll last you, these little vials will last you like 10 days if you don't want to, you know, splurge for the big stuff. So thank you again, everyone. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. And I just want to say from my family to yours, thank you so much for your support and your prayers. Without you guys, you know, we wouldn't be here. And we get up every morning, Cameron and myself and the team and Darla, and we have your best interest at hand. Our hearts are all in the right place of getting the truth out to the best of our ability to you guys. And we want to thank you for that. And thanks for all the beautiful emails and postings. You know, it's much appreciated. And thank you. And thank you, Cameron, for taking the time out today, last minute, and doing this. It was a great update. I was only planning on going on for 30 minutes, and here we are 2.5 hours later. I think it was good information, and I'm glad people asked some really great questions. These are fantastic questions, and I'm glad I was able to come on here and mingle with you guys, and love all of you on here. Just fabulous amount of people, great-hearted people. I know some of you very well, and want to thank you all for joining in. And really would be I'm getting messages in here as we speak, but yes. So thanks again, and we will talk soon. Stay tuned for another episode of Cosmic Television Network coming in January. And have a great holiday season. Cameron, thanks again. Once again, I really appreciate you coming on and showing your support and taking the reign on this thing. You've done a fabulous job with everything going on with these live streams and managing all the social networking and Cosmic Television Network, Cosmic Disclosure Alliance. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, 100%. Glad to be here. Happy to do it in service to humanity and the ascension and the healing and the awakening of planet Earth. Love you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Enjoy the holidays. Be safe. God bless you all. Keep raising the vibes, baby. Let's go. Emery, you're a great man. Love you.
Love you, bro.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us on another. Was a quick update and also a Q&A where we got to interact with our family here. And thank you again for joining us on Cosmic Television Network. Emery, I'll talk to you offline, brother.
Thanks, you. Sounds great, man. Talk to you soon.